If you think that Russia and China are not aligned, you'll never own your own home.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hot News Today. Today, I'm cutting through the noise to talk about how Vladimir Putin is waging an energy war and how the West is helping him. From energy policy failures to global power shifts, let's break it down. Let's start here. Putin has made his move. He's chosen his place in history, and it's not as a statesman, it's as a conqueror. He's betting on the long game, where energy is the currency of power. Everyone knew we were pivoting toward China and East Asia, that was the plan. But now, we've got to prepare for a two-front struggle, one in Europe against Russia, and another in the Indo-Pacific against China. If you think Russia and China aren't aligned, you're dreaming. These two regimes are playing chess while we're stuck arguing about checkers. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell.
There's one thing I don't get. We're all in agreement that we need to kick Putin and Russia out of the international community. And the West is in agreement that we need to kick Putin and Russia out of the international marketplace. How do you do that without attacking his oil? How do you do that without attacking his natural gas? As I read the president's sanctions, he hasn't sanctioned all Russian banks, and he hasn't thrown all Russian banks out of SWIFT. And why has he not done that? Because he wants to continue to allow Putin to sell his oil and natural gas. Now, that is the oil and natural gas and the cash flow from it. You can't fight a war without money, is Putin's soft underbelly. But it's also the West's soft underbelly.
Now here's where it gets real. The West wants to kick Putin out of the international community, right? Sounds good. But how do you do that without touching the thing that fuels him, literally, oil and gas? President Biden's sanctions haven't touched all of Russia's banks. Why? Because he doesn't want to block oil and gas sales, that's Putin's lifeline, but it's also the West's weak spot. Europe is addicted to Russian energy, and here in America we could fill that gap if the Biden administration wasn't shutting down drilling, blocking pipelines, and making it nearly impossible to develop energy infrastructure. You can't fight a war without money, and Putin's money comes from oil and gas. We keep saying we want to hurt him, but we won't touch the source of his power. Why? Because we're afraid of high gas prices at home? Because we're stuck in green energy fantasies that aren't ready to replace the real thing?
I think that both Putin and Xi are taking advantage of the West's, including but not limited to the United States, frontal assault on oil and gas. If Europe stops purchasing oil and gas from Russia tomorrow, which is the only way you're going to cut off his cash flow, then there's going to be a deficit, and America's got to fill it. And we can't do that as long as the Biden administration is shutting down drilling in the Gulf, shutting down drilling in Anwar, refusing to open the Keystone Pipeline, instructs FERC to hang all over the backs of every pipeline company in America, and I could go on and on and on. So we can't have it both ways. And that's the issue that the president needs to address straight up.
Name two countries that don't care about CO2 emissions. Russia and China. Now name who does, the US, Europe, and the rest of the West. But not at the expense of national security. That's the price we're paying now. Putin and Xi Jinping are watching us choke our own energy sector. We handed Putin $18 billion through special drawing rights from the IMF, just like that. A gift card for war. Where did the money go? To the wealthiest nations, to Putin. No explanation, no accountability.
Final point, I know Americans are really tired of foreign entanglement, but we got to respond to this threat. Because if we don't, we're going to wake up and we're going to see Russia dominant in Central and Eastern Europe. We're going to see Iran dominant in the Middle East, and we're going to see China dominant in East Asia. And it's not going to be a safe place for America.
So what's the path forward? We can't have it both ways. If we want to stop Putin, if we want to prevent China from expanding its dominance, we need to face the truth. Energy is power, and fighting a war requires more than words. It requires action. The president needs to level with the American people. We can't keep pretending this is about Ukraine alone. It's about the future of the world order. If we don't respond now, We'll wake up to a world where Russia owns Eastern Europe, Iran rules the Middle East, and China dominates Asia. And where does that leave America? If you found this video eye-opening, smash that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear the truth. Drop a comment. Are we doing enough? Or are we helping Putin more than we're hurting him? Stay sharp, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.